Passivity. 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 You may be wondering what that is about. Passive. Men who are passive. You go to primary school, to elementary school, and what happens? You have this female teacher who is innocently doing her work very well. But this female teacher is teaching this male, student, this boy, and he is being told to behave. They always say behave, behave, behave. But behave in this context means act like a girl. Because as a female teacher, the best way I know how a child behaves is when he sits down, doesn't talk in class, doesn't climb anything, doesn't touch anything or move anything, doesn't touch the neighbor, doesn't talk with anybody, but sits down like a humble, small, little princess. That is behaving. It is only at break time and at lunch time when this boy now feels like a boy, like a young man. Because at break time, he is playing the ball. He is kicking this and kicking that. He is running around. He is calling this boy to join the team and calling the other one to join the team. He feels in charge, and the manly instinct is at its best only at break time. After break, he goes back to the class to be passive. By the time he is a man who is in his own home, having 2-3 children with a beautiful wife, he is super passive. He cannot be active anymore. He cannot make any choices. He cannot take decisions. He cannot come out like the man he is supposed to be. Even when it comes to the world of work and jobs, he is laid back. And so today we have a big problem of men who do not work hard. They are passive and laid back. That should not be you or your husband or your brother or your son or your elder. You are very welcome to this program. The Inspired Family Leader with Samuel Ebakutan, your host. CEO Inspired Leaders International, a certified executive coach, award-winning leadership consultant, global speaker and author, Provincial Fathers Union President. What a joy to have you watching today as we talk about this very important topic of real men work hard. Real men work hard. And for us to have this conversation, with me in studio is a real man who works hard, and he has what to show that he has been working hard. Over the last couple of years, he has served as the executive director of the Anti-Corruption Coalition Uganda. He has served as the executive director of DEM Group, a consortium on electoral democracy. He has served as the church relations manager for Uganda Christian University in East Africa. He has served as a manager of a huge project, the All Saints Cathedral building project, a cathedral that is going to be seating more than 5,000 people. He was the manager of the project. And today he is working hard as the new General Chief Executive Officer for the Church Commissioners Holding Company Limited, the investment arm of the Church of Uganda. The man I call JT, a friend, right here in the studio. JT, you are very welcome.
Thank you, my
a real man who works hard.
Yes.
I am so glad to host you today.
Thank you so much, even for that nice introduction. And thank you for inspiring us also.
Yes.
I have read your books,
yes,
especially on wealth.
Okay.
I'm actually still reading it.
Is that so?
And
ability to produce wealth.
Exactly. Because you inspire us, especially you inspired me to begin writing.
Yes.
I have actually 2 manuscripts.
I'm glad.
That I did during lockdowns,
yes,
and partly,
yes,
because I saw Ugandan writing.
So you waited for this program to let me know about it.
Exactly,
I didn't know about
yes.
it.
What I'm telling you is that as you do this program, know that as you write,
yes,
know that there are so many who get inspired. At least, even if you inspire one man,
oh, yes,
to add on what you have done, for me, That's beautiful.
Amazing. How is peace?
Peace, asimwe tumuhimbise, is very fine.
Yes.
And she sends greetings, and she was actually watching.
Okay.
I called her with some few minutes ago to ensure that it is the right channel on the right TV.
Yes.
Because the family TV
Yes.
is the real TV.
Oh yes, I hear you.
Yes.
You sound like a marketing manager for this station.
Indeed, because I couldn't wait for it to be on this TV. So management and governors, thank you for putting it there, because part of our family, we were DSTV.
Yes.
So to purchase, others was tough. So I was so glad that we are now on DSTV.
So Family TV also became a real TV. It worked hard and joined the DSTV and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
So tell us about yourself a little bit more, and especially about your family.
Okay, second born of 10 children, 5 boys, 5 girls.
Wow.
Of Lillian and Jackson in Piligwe, who wedded in 1966. Then thankfully and with the great blessing from God,
yes,
I studied primary school in the village, then Kiges College, Butovere, Caltech Academy, then I went to Makerere as a statistician. I'm a professional statistician.
Bachelor of Statistics from Makerere University.
And applied economics. So that's my type of profession.
But you also went for a master's in divinity.
2 masters,
I have
and
a master's in ethics and
I have masters in ethics and public management.
Yes.
I'm completing my PhD in education management and administration.
But you also have a diploma.
Yes, in project planning and management.
You see?
And very many other certificates.
Interesting.
Where you got those from, I don't know, but I'm a type who, like during COVID, because I like working, sorry to digress a bit on my family, because when COVID came, I said, what should I now do? Sitting at home 1 week, I said, no, let me enroll for PhD. So I began my studies during COVID.
And you are not complete now?
Yes, so that I do not do nothing.
Yes.
Because I am a person who likes working. So my family, I married 25 years ago actually this month.
30th of this month, you're making 25.
August. I'm making 25 years with peace. And we have 4 biological children. And about 29 plus. We are still adding, have passed through our hands.
Okay.
Especially in terms of education and giving them a future. Because as a couple, from the beginning up to today, we work hard. Yes.
You are work hard incarnate.
Yes.
So this is the Inspired Family Leader Program, which is a program really on leadership.
Yes.
It's a leadership program. We are equipping leaders.
Yes.
Particularly, this program focuses on leaders of the family.
Yes. Yes.
Now, in your view, generally speaking, what would you say leadership is? How would you define leadership?
Yeah, I would define leadership as rallying people around a vision.
Rallying people around a vision.
Within a specified time. In other words, actually, when a vision is fulfilled, you can rally them around another vision. And so, in terms of leadership, actually biblical leadership means you have a person, especially a family head, rallying the wife and children around a certain vision, towards a certain direction.
Yes.
Within a specified certain time. And if you read the Bible very well, Noah is a classic example of a leader who rallied the whole family.
The Noah of the ark.
Yes,
and the
because it hadn't rained, and he built that ark from about 75 years to 100. Many people say 40 years. No, it was more than 75 years.
Yes.
But the wife believed in him.
His
the
sons
children and their wives to enter the ark.
Yes.
And God closes at the beginning is raining. For me, that's a classic example of a man
who had a vision, who actually received the vision.
Yes, and then passed it on.
Yes.
To the wife, I guess first.
In a compelling manner enough.
And then to the children and their
daughters-in-law.
And they all entered the ark. I mean, that's a perfect vision. And that's the family I would want.
Yes.
To lead.
Yes.
But I'm not going to heaven alone. My wife is following. All my 4 children are following. And then people we live with are also following.
And probably a few more around you.
And then relatives and friends. If you have brothers and sisters, they're also saying, I want to be like.
So I hear 3 words.
Yes.
Number 1, I hear a vision.
Yes.
You can't talk of leadership without talking about vision.
Yes.
You can't take people nowhere.
Yes.
Because leadership indeed is taking them somewhere.
Yes.
A vision.
Yes.
Secondly, I am hearing time.
Yes.
But it has to be within a specified period of time.
Yes.
Somehow there are guidelines of the timing.
Yes.
And three, I hear the word rally. That
Yes.
now that you have the vision
Yes.
for a specific period of time, it's now the moment to rally people, mobilize them around that vision, towards that direction.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And the challenge today is people want provisions,
Not vision.
They want money, what? Resources. No, resources without vision become a nullity, and you will waste them. But when you have a vision,
Yes.
be sure
That provision will be
God
there.
will give provision.
So in other words, vision precedes provision.
Exactly.
Focus on the vision.
And then
It will attract
provisions
provision.
will come.
Oh my.
And then when you rally people around you, then within a certain period of time, you'll actually be measuring the vision.
So, gentlemen, what is the vision that you have before you ask for provision? Before you seek for money, before you look for, a donor, before you look for sponsors, what is your vision? What is the vision for your family? If you have no vision, you don't deserve provision.
You shouldn't receive any resource when you have
You will waste
no
it.
vision. You'll waste it.
Now, you have been in marriage for 25 years.
Yes.
Okay? Now, in this marriage of 25 years, what if I could say maybe 2 to 3 top lessons that you have learned concerning this thing of leading family, being a family leader? What if you sieved everything and boiled it down to 3 top lessons?
Yes.
Which ones would they be?
Yeah, there are actually 3 things a man, a husband, should be able to do. Number 1, the priest of the family. Now, I'm already a priest, but I became a priest long ago. At marriage,
Yes.
I became the priest of my family. And that's what actually what we call the kingdom principle, that a man within a family is a priest. A priest meaning you are interceding for your family,
Yes.
you are sacrificing for your family, you are taking them towards the God that you know. Secondly, another top thing is that I'm a leader.
Okay.
Meaning, I develop a vision, share it within family meetings, and for us, we have family meetings with children,
Yes.
with my wife, and we.
I know a family that has what they call a family parliament.
Yes.
Once every quarter.
I think we need now to encourage ourselves to become a parliament, making laws. So for us, is a meeting normally where even the youngest become a chairperson.
Okay.
And you have a
So
secretary.
chairpersonship of the family meeting
Is rotational, so that you are not only the vision bearer, but you are training others also to become vision bearers,
Okay.
whether they are female or male. And so that one has been happening.
So you've learned to be a priest, which is the kingdom principle.
Yes.
You've also learned to be a leader with a vision that is shareable
and
Yes.
we discuss it.
And
when things we fail, we normally go back. Then the last one is being prophetic leader.
Okay.
The prophetic leader means you are dreaming for the family. You are also bringing the oracles of God to your family. Every relationship with God, revelation from God, you share it and say, my people, our children, yes, others smoke, but our home is no smoking area. That's prophetic.
Okay.
And then declaring
Prophetic.
in the sense that there are certain things God reveals to you that shouldn't be done
Yes.
in your family, but also you are imparting your children
Okay.
that wherever they go,
Yes.
prophetically, this
Okay.
is not part of
You're
their,
speaking into their tomorrow.
into their tomorrow.
You're speaking into their future, how
Yes,
it should look
yes.
like by speaking about it today into their life.
Yes, and so that now prophetically we begin declaring.
Okay.
Instead of abusing my child, I will declare that you will be. Yes, message, but as a prophet, now as a leader, you
Yes.
embrace them.
So you stop saying, do you have porridge in your head? How can you do that? And you
No.
now start to say, when I look at you, I
Yes.
will see you would even be a
There
president.
is, yes, you may not be performing well in math,
Yes.
but my son, thank you
Yes.
for this English.
Yes.
You will be. Let me tell you, children need to hear that. Because I grew up without hearing it.
Yeah, me
And
too.
it crushed my spirit. Actually, I had even a bit start second class upper.
Yes.
But because of being crushed, I couldn't knock and get a job. And
Yes.
so I decreed that.
Oh, you had a good grade academically, but
Yes,
you
I
lacked
was
the
among
zeal,
the best,
the confidence, and the esteem to step out as a
and,
man
and get a job
for yourself.
Those with passes got jobs.
Yeah.
Second law, I had a second class upper statistics those days.
Yes,
It was amazing.
But that
I
was in
couldn't-
1992.
Yes, I couldn't in 1993 January.
93.
So I couldn't knock and actually say I
Yeah.
want a job.
Oh,
Why?
yes.
Because I was crushed. So
They
when I
did not
got my
prophesy
family,
into your future.
when I got my family, I began prophesying. I also prophesied to my wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in other words, prophesying for somebody who does not understand this
Okay.
Christian language
It
is speaking positively into the life.
somebody's life.
Okay.
Despite of their weaknesses,
Yes.
to tell them that, wow, well
Okay.
done. And therefore, as a family, we don't measure our children
Yes.
based on the success
Okay.
of the world. Actually,
But
our
on the potential you see.
potential that we see.
Amazing.
And apparently, each one of them has different potential.
Yes.
And as we shall see later, God never made us as photocopies.
Yes, we are not
Each one of
second
us
hand
has
human
a
beings.
type of purpose and work, and therefore we can't tell our children if the other one is performing like this, do
Yes.
this. No,
Yes.
each child has their own. Even
Each child does their own hard work in
if
their
they are
own life.
twins, and I have twins,
Yeah.
the firstborns, the truth is that they are totally different.
Now, that brings us to the very topic indeed. Our topic is that real men work hard.
Yes.
Already, of course, you are pointing to what it means to work hard. You know, being a priest of the home, being a leader of the home, and being a prophet of the home.
Yes.
Now, some people say that work is actually a curse. It came after the fall of man,
Yes.
when Adam and Eve ate the fruit. There was a curse, so they had to work hard in order. So somebody says, why should I work hard? It's a curse. What do you say about that? Why should people
Number
work hard?
one, those who say it don't read the Bible.
Huh?
Why? Because working begins before sin enters.
Yes.
Chapter 1 of Genesis, verse 28. Go and multiply. Many
Yes.
people think multiplication
Is producing
is
children?
producing children. No, it is harnessing nature. And when God says, I will prosper you,
Yes.
it doesn't mean children. Otherwise, Abraham wouldn't be prosper. I mean, one child,
Yes.
Isaac. Noah had 3. Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
And Samuel
when
now
we-
has 2.
Yes, so when we say go and multiply, harness the earth, I put you under, above the leadership of the seas. Seas is not about children.
Yes.
It is not about. I mean, we are in control of nature.
So when he said
God-
multiply, reproduce,
Yes, it is a production
work.
chain.
It is work.
It is work. Go
Yes.
and reproduce within the seas, within the land, within the space.
Yes.
But then, chapter 2, and it is interesting.
Yes.
Verse 8. God made a garden.
Yes.
Please, if you have the Bible, get
Open
chapter
it right
2,
now.
Verse 8. God made the garden
Yes.
and he planted.
Yes.
So God worked.
Yes.
I'm even now.
Before we
removing
even talk
the
of
issue
man.
Yes, I'm not even talking about man.
Yes.
And I'm on work.
Yes.
I mean, God was still working when he was creating.
Yes.
But, chapter 2, verse 8, he plants the what?
A garden.
A garden. Now, verse 15, he puts in man and tells him 2 things.
Yeah.
Take care of it,
Tend it and cultivate.
work.
Yes.
Tend it, cultivate,
Yes.
dress it.
Yes.
Other Bible versions say that. So work
Take good care.
as a tenet, as a principle from God, began before the fall.
That
Now,
sounds like a principle of stewardship, even before
exactly,
the fall.
that till this land,
Yes.
look after it,
Yes.
don't eat on this fruit, full stop.
Okay.
So the fall brought in 2 things. That work continued, but now toiling and sweating.
So there is a difference between working and toiling in a way.
Yes.
Okay.
And I will come to it later, because you see, when you are working within
Yes.
the principles of God,
Yes.
yes, there won't be toiling and sweating.
Oh.
You will enjoy the work as worship.
Yes.
So Adam
Yes.
was to worship God through work.
Oh,
Tell
work
me.
was a form of worship.
Worship, yes.
Okay.
And today even work, therefore, must be a form of worship.
Okay.
Why? Because it is ordained by God. He's the one speaking. Go, dress
Yes.
it, tend it, cultivate. So when I'm not working, I'm not worshiping.
Okay.
And you know, Rick Warren writes in his book that whatever activity you do is worship.
So first pause.
So this,
Whenever you are not working, you are not worshiping. So if you claim to be somebody who worships God, but you are not working, there is a challenge. And I hope, let me hope, that there is a difference between work and job.
Yes, totally.
Because somebody here who is saying, oh, so are you saying if I don't have a job, then I...
Yeah, because
you see the challenge here. I think we have a big challenge with words. We need to redefine
and that's
words.
why now the challenge today is what they call employment, formal employment.
Yes.
But my mother was working.
Okay.
She never got a job description.
She was not jobbing.
And let me tell you, she paid our fees through work. You get it? There was production.
Yes.
Through work.
So now hit
But
it on the
many
head.
people today-
Why should a man work?
So why should the man work? One, because he's ordained by God.
Yes.
Two, because Paul says, and this is more interesting, that without work don't eat.
Don't eat. That is 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 6 to verse 10.
Exactly. So that's the second point. That if you don't work, then don't
food.
eat. Then number 3, people who are busybodies, and Paul of course addresses it, normally become a workshop of the enemy. And that's the devil. If you are not working,
Yes.
I can assure you,
You are opening your life to many bad
opening your
things.
life to anything.
Yes.
No wonder cult season encourages people not to work.
Okay.
You get it? Like a cult will come and say, no, God will bless you without working.
Yeah.
And I will come to it later. There is no miracle.
The raven will bring the
Yes, exactly.
You don't have to rear the
And
goats.
then, but they even forget that the raven had a change. I mean, later when you read
Yes.
the 1 Kings chapter 17, yes, the raven fed Elijah, but he would still go and pick it from the raven. In
Okay.
other words, work is the principle.
So
That there
even-
is no miracle, and I repeat it again, there is no miracle without work.
Okay.
Jesus would have ordered, fish and bread
And it
to
falls
just
into
come.
people's mouth.
But there is a small boy, a
Okay,
vendor,
let him bring the fish.
two fish and
Okay.
3 loaves.
Distribute.
Multiplication.
Sit people down.
Exactly. See, that's work.
That's work.
Even sitting is work. Collect the 10 baskets. That's chapter 6, verse 10 of John.
That's management
That's
of the miracle.
Management of even work. I mean,
Yes.
that production you can't waste.
Even some people mismanage their miracles.
Yes. So what we are saying now is that work is different from a job.
Okay.
A job has a description. It is
Yes.
management.
Yes.
But
yes.
work, what I do outside
This
my
is
job
very
is also
important.
called work.
Oh.
And then again in chapter 3, God brought 2 dimensions after sin. That you will toil,
Yes.
the earth will be bad. In other
Yes.
words, we shall produce after toiling.
Yeah.
In Eden, it was paradise.
It was.
You would enjoy work. But then he also said, out of your brow, the sweat,
Yes.
you will be able to produce.
Okay.
Meaning you should work, but now because of sin,
Yes.
you'll work complaining. In the Garden of Eden, there was no complaint.
Yes.
Because food was there, production was there, and it was within the paradise, the will of God.
So really, working in the original intention of God was being.
Yes.
Not so much of doing, but being. Being productive.
Yes, in the presence of God.
Yes.
Yeah, and God visiting you in the. If you read it properly, He visited them
Yes.
in the cool of the day.
So
And they
work
had
is
bread.
very
I had
critical.
already gotten out of the garden, and that's why the word Adam, where are you?
Yes.
Still rings today.
Yeah.
You man, instead of working,
Yeah.
tilling the
Instead of
garden
working,
of God,
where
are you?
Patrick, where are you? James, where are you? Samuel, where are you? Jasper, where are you? Dixon, where are you? John, where are you? The question still rings true today, that when the man is out of his place, is out of his position, where he is supposed to be productive, where he's supposed to be working and producing something, the question rings true. Where are you? You are not in your place. So work is critical for family provision, for productive living. It's God's command to fulfill purpose and increase prosperity and gain the right to lead as a man. Work is critical. Now, here is something that has been happening these days. Very popular, especially in the motivational world, where I sometimes find myself being, where people are advocating for working smart. Working smart.
Yes.
Working smart. They even speak it while doing something like this to show you that this is sophisticated and crispy. You know, it's glossy. So the question is, why should I work hard if I can work smart?
The answer is, if you work hard, you are working smart. Why? Because ultimately, without working hard, you are not smart. In other words, I'm a priest. If I have a text to preach, I work hard on it, and that's being smart. I read the Bible every day, 4 chapters every day, so that I may be able to finish the Bible in 1 year. I am now reading the Bible smart.
Okay.
Why? Because I'm reading it hard. So there can't be smartness
without hardness.
And therefore, if you don't work hard, you are not smart.
You are not working smart.
Yes. And again, I read the Bible so that I'm able to preach properly. I'm able also to communicate to God. But also, because of my past history, I also used to do consultants, a lot of them.
Yes, management.
And I can assure you, I would work hard.
Yes.
Because I want to be smart.
Okay.
My product, I want whoever reads it to say, wow, where can I get this? And in the consultants world today, by the way, they look for you because of your product.
Of course.
And the product can't be because of smartness.
It will be because of hard work.
Work hard. I would go into the sitting room, my wife brings me coffee and says, go on. And I produce some documents.
Thank God for those kinds of wives.
Exactly,
who bring that cup of coffee and say, go right ahead.
Even questioning, and we shall come to it later anyway. But in other words, if you want to become smart, please work hard.
So in other words, while working smart really means being efficient at what you're doing, it takes an effective approach of working hard. It takes hard work to work smart. By the time people look at you and say he is working smart, you have put in a lot of hard work in the background.
And your knowledge, your skills are beyond what we would call now ordinary.
Yes.
In other words, smartness is because your skills and intellect and even whatever you are doing is beyond the normal. Daniel, in the Daniel chapter 6, this guy was smart.
He worked in 4 governments.
Actually, there are 5 if you add Nebuchadnezzar too. He served the 2 Nebuchadnezzars.
Yes.
And Darius and Cyrus and Belshazzar, the son of Nebuchadnezzar. But in chapter 6, they appoint 120 satraps.
Yes.
Those are written on governors.
Yes.
And he works smart. Then they wanted to appoint him among the 3 to oversee.
The top ones.
Yes, to oversee the 120. And then, imagine, hard work.
Yes.
But he's also smart, he's worshipping his God. In other words, for him, work was worship.
Yes.
But I also need to encounter my God privately.
Yes.
And when you read chapter 6, they say the only thing we can get done alone
is his prayer life.
God. Yes.
We can't find anything wrong about
he was too
He
smart.
has not stolen anybody's money.
Exactly.
He has not killed anyone. He didn't lie anywhere. He didn't forge academic documents. The only thing we can is to say that he prays a lot.
And then you trap him.
That's high level integrity.
But the end you will see, he was more successful. He was more smarter.
Okay. He was smarter than him.
But even Jesus, it is interesting in 3 years if he refused his vision. It wasn't through smartness. It was through hard work. The cross.
He was walking every day, everywhere.
To the extent that the mother and the siblings came and said, you must sit to eat.
Now, when you look at this, JT, when you look at this that we are talking about, we have seen that the benefits are real. The benefits of hard work. We have realized that it is actually smart to work hard. We see it clearly. It's ordained. It's a way how we rally even our families around the vision in a specified period of time. Is it that people don't know this? Is it that men are not aware of this? What stops men from working hard? A number of men that don't work hard.
As time went on, a certain culture began developing, where working hard never became a value. Our mothers used to work hard. Our grandfathers we know used to work hard, and grandmothers, especially those in the revival movement. But as you know, mafuta mingi, that smuggling entered during the Amin regime, and then onwards. The rebel groups, people began feeling
Yes.
that you can become rich
Without working.
without really working hard. And then technology comes in, where you have forex trading,
Yes.
where you can think,
Mm-hmm.
you can get money on sitting on a computer.
Yes. A lot of
you
it.
know,
actually.
yes, and you trade, and the next day, wow, you are driving
Yes.
a Mercedes-Benz,
A Rolls Royce.
tinted what with even, I don't know why they tint when
Yes.
they want us to see them. But listen to this. So that a culture now that has developed.
Yes.
And so our children, instead of seeing us getting up to work, and by the way, again, work is defined differently. Like for us, we have chicken at home.
Yes.
Instead of them seeing us to see that, you know, we are collecting eggs, they begin thinking that, hey, but the one we saw on TV
Yes.
is, you know, getting money without necessarily
Having
wearing
to.
chicken.
Uh-huh.
The one, you know, that is ever at night
Yes.
typing reports and what. But there is a celebrity
Yes.
promoted by TVs. And that's why, by the way, you should watch Family TV. There is a celebrity promoted by all newspapers and
Yes.
Family and other TVs that has made it.
Yes.
When you check behind, they haven't been working.
Okay.
Either they have
They have
stolen
only been
what
made
and
by
what
social
he is
media.
saying. And you see, David also struggled with this in Psalm 73. That road, the wicked, they
Are
don't fall
prospering.
sick, they prosper, what and what. But verse 16 is interesting. That until when I entered the sanctuary of God.
Yes.
In other words, if we see work and prosperity from the perspective of God,
Yes.
the other celebrity crashes. And by the way, let me even ask you on TV, name 3 celebrities who never worked and you know they are still surviving after 30 years.
I will do my research.
Exactly. When you name 3, I will really also now begin researching. Why?
So in other words, many men are stopping hard work because of the culture that has
exactly,
emerged.
that
Doesn't see hard work as a value.
As a value.
It doesn't
Instead,
see that
corruption
work
becomes
ethic
a
as
value.
important.
Corruption becomes a value. You know, anybody taking money, grabbing land
Yes.
becomes a value, and it is now promoted.
Yeah.
Well,
Celebrate it.
yes, and of course, one time I was like Elijah,
Yeah.
that I'm the only one left. But no, God told me Elijah was 7,000 times wrong.
Yeah.
And I pray that many men, even who are watching,
Yes.
you won't fall into a trap of thinking that
You are the only
money
one who is
without
doing
work,
right.
money without work benefits you. No,
Yeah.
it is not even money. The way you obtain something
Yeah.
is the way you lose it.
Yeah.
And I have tested that the more you obtain money out of corruption, for example, you lose it through corruption.
I think that tells me that some of the men are stopping to do this hard work because of the televisions they watch,
Yes.
the radio stations they listen
The
to,
peers they go
the
with.
peers they have, bad advice,
Yes.
even too much sleep, the
Yes,
pride of
the
saying,
pride.
how will people see me
Then
doing this?
watching Premiership, that the other one
Premier
transfer.
League.
He earns £120,000 a week. No, that's him. You go and work.
And earn
In
yours.
fact, don't even watch him. He's busy. I mean, like De Bruyne.
Yes.
He's from Burundi. Of course, many people think he's from Belgium. No,
Yes.
he's an albino from Burundi.
Okay.
And I read his story. After 15 years, when he was rejected as a kid, that's when he said, I will work hard.
Yes.
So the footballer you see came from a young man. He was inspired by a mother.
Yes.
That now that have neglected you, your parents, go and work hard.
Yeah.
So when you see him running and you grab and you begin complaining, he earns £120,000
Yes.
per week. Go and also work hard. And whatever you earn, by the way, because it is of God, it will prosper you. Because
Now,
prosperity is
yes.
defined differently.
Definitely. Now, you talked about something at the start. You referred to it. Let me bring it in here. And you said something about it.
Yes.
You come from the world of the church as a priest.
Yes.
And in the church where you are, we have people that are called intercessors.
Yes.
People who are often praying for others
Yes.
as their way of service.
Yes.
And the majority of them are so famous for giving glorified testimonies about a life of miracle after miracle after miracle, in a way to the extent that somehow it starts to sound like where you don't have to work hard. Miracles are there. So my question is, what about those kinds of men who actually rely on miracles as a substitute for hard work?
Yes.
What do you tell them?
So 3 things. Number 1 is the definition of a miracle, and it holds glory. So I can't be a channel and I begin claiming that I'm a source. All miracles and wonders that come from God, we must promote God, not the miracle worker.
Okay.
Let me repeat it, because there are so many people who think that pastor so and so,
yes,
reverend so and so,
apostle,
intercessor so and so, apostle. When you go there, you have landed.
Yes.
Let me tell you, miracles are a means of God's grace to promote Himself.
Miracles are a means of God's grace to promote Himself.
So when you hear, I went to this mountain, and when the pastor so and so touched me, that's not God's miracle. Because every miracle must give God the glory.
But does that remove the one through whom He has passed it?
Yes. Because who are you?
So
who are you, mortal man?
I am His instrument.
Who are you, the clay?
So are you saying He must be out of the picture totally, just because it's God working?
The potter can use any type of clay.
Yes.
So there is no way. Again, ladies, listen, and gentlemen, if you hear that I went to pastor so and so,
yes,
the God of, I served as Stara, St. Stephen's Stara, and miracles were happening. But I began hearing, when I got St. Stephen's Stara, the God of St. Stephen's, I began saying no.
Yes.
In fact, never come back here. If
that's
the God
you are a tough man.
If that's the God you want. So you will hear people on radio, they hop from radio to radio,
from church to
pastor to pastor, church to church, looking for a miracle.
So in other words, they are looking for miracles of God instead of looking for the God of miracles.
Yes. And they are man of God instead of the God of man.
Yes.
They are looking for the world instead of the word.
Yes.
And for the throne, you should look for the throne, not the phone. You get it? Which pastor do I call?
Yes.
Why? Because again, any miracle outside the grace of God for the glory of God is not a miracle.
It's what then?
It is.
Because if it has happened, I never expected it.
It is feeling nice. It is feeling nice. You know, Lazarus died again. So, in other words, at the end, it will be infinity. But second, and this is more important, and without reducing the role of intercession and prayer, and also preaching, because I'm also a preacher person, without negating their role, please ensure that when you go there, that's your calling. Not because somebody is doing it, then I should do it. Street preaching, with all due respect, and I like them. Some are going because the other one is a street preacher. Isn't
that what you call inspiration? He is inspired by the other one.
Yeah, you should be inspired by God, not the another person.
God can work through somebody else.
The biggest sin is the sin of being like. Okay?
Like someone else.
The serpent, if you eat on the fruit, you will be like. Children of Israel want a king to be like other nations. Samson, a man, if you tie me, I will be like any other man, the devil himself. I will ascend and become like the Most High.
So the sin of
so ambition, very good. But I can't have an ambition of preaching like John Hagee. I like it.
So the ambition is okay, but the motivation may be wrong.
In other words, and God weighs the motive. Proverbs 16:1 and 2. That you plan, but God weighs the motives. Meaning, intercession is okay, prayer is okay, preaching is okay, but is it your calling? And when you find you are struggling even to get transport home,
then you know it's time for hard work.
Go like hard work. And they say, this preaching, this prophet is bad. Then you go back to do what? My shepherding. Amos was a shepherd. And you'll find that many prophets are at the same time priests. In other words, they do work.
So if I'm hearing you right, that gentleman, this family man who is watching, who has been basically relying on a life of miracles, sitting back to wait for a miracle to happen, should now know that it's time for him to step out and do hard work and know that a miracle will come when God wills it in his life
and actually
and to glorify him.
And that's my last point.
Yes.
That all miracles Jesus did, he did what man can't do.
Okay.
For example, he told Peter, go and fish and get taxes. So the fish became an ATM.
Yes.
Because Peter went to fish it. And Jesus had the capacity to order.
To call it.
Yes, to call the fish.
Yes.
But Peter had to go and fish. John chapter 2, the miracle of wine. You know, Jesus says, fill the ceremonial jars.
Yes.
Fill them up to the brim. I wondered why he wouldn't order water to enter.
Yes.
He could order water.
We must participate in our miracle.
Exactly.
And that is their
that
work.
There is no miracle
Yes.
without participation of man.
There is no miracle without participation of man. You must participate in your miracle. And that is what hard work is about.
Exactly.
That you are participating in the formulation of your divine miracle.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know, even in John chapter 11, this Lazarus
Yes.
man, Jesus says, where is the tomb? They say, he's already smelling God. They never knew he's even God.
He told them
our
to remove the stone.
He wept with them.
Yes.
Go and remove the stone. He never removed it.
So they had to participate in
In
Lazarus'
removing
miracle
the stone.
by removing the
Then
stone.
he did what they can't do, calling him outside the tomb.
Yes.
He came in what? The clothes. What did he say? Anytime.
That's not my work.
It is not
that
my
one
work.
you can do it.
You can do.
In other words,
So,
what a man can do for himself,
God
he should do
will
it.
not participate in doing it. He should simply
God
do it.
will not do for you what he said that you would be the one to do.
Yes.
That's why in Deuteronomy, he says, I will bless the work of your hands. He didn't say, I will bless your hands. He said, I will bless the work. So you place your hands on work, and then the miracle will happen.
It will happen. And you see, even in these miracles in the Old Testament,
Yes.
David had stones
Yes.
and a sling. You get it. And he had to do this.
He had to swing the stone in
for
order to
Goliath
kill
to
Goliath.
die. Then you see Elijah going to the old woman.
Oh,
it
man.
was, how much do you have there? So the miracles out of heart she had.
Yes.
In fact,
Even Moses,
yes.
God asked him, what do you have in your hand?
In your hand.
Yes.
In other words, God is going to bless you.
Yes.
Using what you
He
have
already has
and
given.
what you are already doing. So he gave us a brain to think. He gave us hands to work. He gave us legs to walk.
Yes.
And by the way,
Yes.
even if you have no legs, you have something else.
Exactly.
I mean, I saw this man without hands swimming.
Oh, yeah, Nick Vujicic from Australia.
Exactly. And me with the hands, I can't
Do
swim.
you swim? You can't swim?
I don't.
Now, after here, let's talk.
Yes, I think I need to learn. But what I'm saying is that he has fulfilled his potential.
Yes.
Not because of the inability,
Yes.
because of what he thinks God can use him to do. And so it
Okay.
becomes an inspiration.
Oh, yes.
So even inspirational leaders, for me it is, are you inspiring me out of what you are doing, or you are inspiring me out of words? Even when I'm reading a book, that's what I'm reading.
Yes.
I'm looking for
Where
those,
is the practical
yes,
bit
I'm,
in this?
I'm looking for those failures. Samuel passed through
Yes.
to become what he became. I'm looking for those moments
Yes.
when he faltered and said,
Yes.
eh. And
When he
that's
had
a
to
better lesson than do this.
Making it look glossy.
Yeah, 10 commandments of prosperity. To receive a miracle, get a visa. Where are you going? Get this. Let me tell you again. And of course, with all you, because I know there is a grace of God which is clear.
Of course.
But God again will not give you a degree in economics, like one of my cousins.
Yes.
And then you go and sell fruits on the street because a pastor has told you.
Now, my brother JT, there are those men who are watching and they do not have jobs right
Yes.
now. They are unemployed.
Yes.
So a man like that is wondering, how do I work hard yet I have no job? Because working hard is being equated or related with the job.
Yes.
And so he is seated at home in a country where unemployment is
Very
rooftop.
high, yes.
He is struggling to look for a job and he can't find it. And then you are telling him to work hard, yet for him he thinks working hard is when he already has the job and he's doing it well.
Yes, sir.
What's your brief message to that man?
that person I would advise should now rethink on what working is. Because again, we mentioned our mothers working, we mentioned the people today working, using things God has given. Now a job.
Yes.
And with all due respect to formal employment. And actually that's now the culture, that if I don't have formal employment,
I don't have a job,
then I don't have a job, so I can't work.
Yes.
But what did COVID do to us? All our contracts were suspended. And the people who survive
yes,
with money are those who chose to go for informal employment. And therefore, in terms of God's kingdom, informal employment is employment. So let me repeat it. In terms of God's economics, informal employment is employment. Otherwise, I would never have become a clergyman.
In fact, informal employment is a deployment.
Is a deployment. Yeah, he's just using you differently.
Yes.
And so those teachers who said there is no school, let me go and make bricks. I blessed them. And let me tell you, they are better than those who are a replica of Lamentations.
Who stayed at home singing the book of Lamentations.
These things are bad.
Yes.
Fuel prices are high. They are high.
Yes.
And by the way, we won't change this. I can predict for about 18 months.
Okay.
Can I repeat again? This economy is going to be tough for about 18 months.
Interesting.
So survivors are those who will go into the informal sector.
Yes.
And begin production. Production so that they are able to survive that crash. Why?
Yes.
Because you see, it isn't that this is expensive. It is how much you have to purchase it.
Exactly. Nothing is expensive. It's you who can't afford it.
Exactly. It is
affordability. I believe that.
For some people, a helicopter is a small gift.
Absolutely.
For some people.
Yeah. A yacht, big boat.
For some of us, a bicycle might be the biggest.
It's a mountain.
It can even now, you can even worship that.
So the difference is capacity. So what I'm hearing you say, my brother JT, is that someone who is not employed formally, who does not have a job, should not sit back at home and just watch TV and sleep the whole day and lament, but should find what he can be putting his hands on that can give him some income.
That's what I told the young man recently, because he was becoming a problem. He had been told by a pastor, first of all, change your name. That your name has Mr. Rani.
Okay.
And he changed it. Of course,
your name has bad luck.
Yes, and he changed it. But the pastor has the same name he was born with.
Get serious.
So I told him, guy, the pastor never changed it, but you were around and changed it. And went for gazetting, very expensive.
Okay.
But then secondly, had believed that he will get vehicles and what, because God is good. Then I told him, as a graduate,
yes,
let me tell you, young man, he was even dreaming to give me a V8. So I told him, dream of how to get a job and go and work. Why? Again, from Genesis to Revelation, and thank God I have read the Bible.
Yes.
There is nowhere where God blesses people without participating in their blessing.
They must participate.
Because it is like an order, it is like gravity. If you jump high, it doesn't matter whether you are speaking in tongues or not, you come down.
Yes.
You get it?
I hope that doesn't mean that they earn God's blessing, but that they only participate in the environment that
in the environment God has put them in.
Okay.
So that when they earn, they bless the God of Israel,
exactly,
who has helped them to earn. He gave Bezalel and
Aholiab
skills.
Exodus 18.
Exodus 18 and the Numbers 35.
Yes.
Not, even Exodus 35. Those were skilled people to build.
Yes.
Now, if he said, "Oh God, thank you for giving me a brain for building,"
now
and he sleeps at home, money won't drop into his mouth.
Now, what do you say? What do you tell a man who despises the available jobs? Because there are many men right now. He has a family, he has a wife, he has children, he has other people who depend on him. But then somehow, I don't know whether it's this pride of how will they see me doing this kind of a thing, this kind of a job. So he despises jobs that present themselves.
You know, one of the biggest lessons I got from St. Stephen Stara is that God made these people who are not educated to be very rich. And very rich, I mean billionaires.
Yes.
And one of the principles that I saw from them is they don't despise any kind of work.
Yes.
Many of them began as shop attendants. Now they are the ones with
They are more owners.
And when I go to pray for them, let me tell you, I bless the Lord and pray for their children to get that work ethic. So, again, if you are listening to us, and when you listen, know this, that God wants you to work. And through the works of your hand, the knowledge has given you the skills, then God will bless you so that you bless others. By the way, again, prosperity is not so that we feel nice.
Yes.
It is to help.
Okay.
Propagate the
we are
kingdom
to
of
prosper
God.
so that we impact others, we become significant and helpful to others.
Exactly, so that it becomes a kingdom.
Yes.
That, you know, Jasper became prosperous so that others may be prosperous. And that's the kingdom principle.
Yes.
So holding money, that's a sin. I mean, I even don't want to think about it. Whether you work, these church commissioners get wealth to propagate the Great Commission.
Yes.
Not to build many houses or can feel nice. No.
Yeah.
That's not the purpose of the church. So the purpose of the wealth and work is so that you glorify God through propagating His kingdom.
All right. So in other words, a man who has been despising the available jobs should go
tomorrow
and do the jobs. Whether you earn 1,000 from it, go and do that work.
And let me add this. Joseph never despised himself as a houseboy.
Okay.
I mean, he worked so hard
home.
that God blessed him as a houseboy.
Exactly.
In prison.
Yes.
If he was an average Ugandan, lamentation would be, you know, I'm from what they put him for him. He entered and began work. And the prisoner, the Bible says, put him in charge.
Exactly.
And you see, those are training grounds. Exactly. That God is training you so that when you now reach the palace, you know that work hard is an ethic.
So the small job you are despising is the stepping stone to where you want to be.
Yes.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 10 says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. It doesn't say, whenever you find a mighty thing to do.
No.
It says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might.
Jasper, whenever you find the preaching opportunity, preach as if you are dying that day.
Yeah, and preaching to people who are dying that day.
Exactly. And I got it in Karelwe. I go to St. Stephen Karelwe, St. Nicholas Karelwe. Then I go to preach on a Sunday. I find like 3 people.
Yes.
Average. I said, God, these ones I don't need to have prepared a lot.
Yes.
The Spirit rebuked me that day.
Okay.
Preach to these as if that's your last sermon. And from that day, that's what I do.
So even if what you are going to be working on is not the thing that you want, it could be the thing that will lead to the thing.
Yes.
Now, let me ask. I see we just have about 5 minutes to the end of this program. I wish we had even much more. Are there some forms of hard work that are foolish, useless, and in vain? Because I don't know. Is all hard work good, or are there forms of hard work that you could say this is working in vain?
Yeah, 2 things. Work in vain means you are not working in accordance with God's principles.
So when you work outside God's principles of work,
like if you work hard to steal, it will end in vain. And if I had time, I would give you an example that Daniel, we know Daniel more than Nebuchadnezzar, and he was the strongest man.
Yet Nebuchadnezzar was the king.
Yes, I know Esther more than Xerxes.
Okay,
Xerxes was the husband.
Ahasuerus.
But Esther, you know. And you see, he was in charge of 126 provinces. And he made a party for 180 days. Now, you make one party for a day, you are already finished. But for him, 180 days for everybody. And they would eat whatever they want, drink whatever they wanted in his provinces. 180 days. But I know Esther.
Yet we don't know him. We don't remember
we don't know him.
We remember
Chivenjeri more than Amin.
Bishop Festo Chivenjeri.
Yes. I know Luwum, Jana and Luwum, whose house we are in. More than Amin. Why? Because for them their work was within the principles of God. So Amin, abuse of human rights, whatever, was outside. And Hitler, I know Ben Hoover more than him. I mean, I have read about Ben Hoover more than Hitler. Why? Because he was outside. So not all work hard will lead
To good results.
Good results.
Yes.
Secondly, there are certain types of working hard that are not enjoyable by the one working. In other words, and if you see this one, I got it when I was working. I worked in railways, I worked in IT. I would reach office early, leave late.
Yes.
And one of my bosses, I remember, told me that, why are you working
this way? Yes.
Because I have more money than you. I earn more than you. Then I remember I said, and I quote, I'm doing this unto God.
Yes.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 17 to 22. That our work is unto God. So if you are working unto self, unto your relatives, even unto your family, however nice it is, let me tell you, it is vanity. So yes, work hard, but ensure that it is
working
to propagate the kingdom of God within the principles of God.
That said, are there hard-working men, genuinely hard-working men who are focusing on what you've talked about, looking at propagating the kingdom agenda, but who need to be reminded to start to work a little less?
Yes, workaholics. I mean, because sometimes we can work and forget that we have a family.
Yes.
I know one professor who forgot his vehicle around Kampala Road. He forgot that he had come with a vehicle. Then, you know, Payara squared it. You get it. All that is nice.
Yes.
But again, God gave us 24 hours. And it is interesting when you see the creation story.
Yeah.
He would create, and then day and night. And then he rested.
Yes.
Meaning, work, yes, but find time to rest. And by the way, I'm also a project in the making. I mean,
me too.
Sometimes
me too.
It is difficult to say. I had one time set a Wednesday, switch off phones, be happy.
Yes.
But sometimes things don't happen the way I want.
But most times, actually, when I find you, it's on a Wednesday on phone.
Exactly. Yes. So in other words, please ensure that you rest.
Yes.
Ensure that you take care of the family, because that's also work.
Yes.
Ensure that you go to worship.
Take care of your health.
Yes. Take care of your health.
Hurry slowly.
Like me, walk. Then ensure that you go to worship.
Yes.
That's part of work.
Even deliberate rest is part of work.
It's part of work.
So we should work hard at doing nothing also, and we feel okay, and we are not guilty.
If nothing is equivalent to resting, I mean, please do rest.
Yes.
Go to church. Sabbath was a time to encounter God. Ensure you have that Sabbath.
As we come to the close of this, a hard-working family man starts as a hard-working boy. In just 1 minute, how can a man raise a hard-working son who will later grow into a hard-working family man, a great husband of a certain woman?
For me, I think two things. Number one, please work.
Oh, you model hard work.
Yes, model hard work.
Yes.
I may be guilty, but my children know that daddy works. That if I go for a consultant, or even when I go for office, I do work. Secondly, continue inspiring them.
Okay.
Showing them good examples of people who worked and became well.
Yes.
So that this idea of I want to become a millionaire, we have one of our children at around 16, 17 is good in the computer.
Yes.
There was a temptation to go for $8,000 outside the country.
Okay.
And you see, we said no. Why? Because ours is not the amount of dollars. Ours is the amount of person that God has created in His image, full stop.
Yes.
So that is to continue inspiring them that you can do well, even when you are in Uganda, wherever God places you. And then finally, because there is this issue of, you know, jobs outside Uganda, our husbands and wives going to the Middle East. They are killing the very tenet of family.
Togetherness.
So when you would come to me to Chitara and you say I'm going to Iraq, one man he said, please pray, and I go, I get 5 million. I prayed, God don't give you. And he was angry.
Wasn't that a bad prayer, Reverend?
Yes, I said, God, bless him from around. Okay. And after 6 months, it was of course tough. During the 6 months, changed the church. But after 6 months, he comes to office and says,
with a testimony,
Reverend, God has given me a job here.
Yes, yes.
I can also provide for my family.
So it's not about location.
It is not about location.
It's about relationship with the
With
one who
God,
will locate you.
And let me tell you, his network is everywhere.
Is everywhere.
Yes. And
In all these things, what is the place of ethics and integrity in hard work?
Actually, hard work ethic is that integrity and honesty.
Yes.
It is like a combination.
Because I see people who are really very hard working, but in their hard working, they are stepping the else, they are working hard to steal, they are working hard to kill.
Those ones, and by the way, the biggest resource on earth, according to God, are humans.
Yeah,
so if
human
your
resource.
relationship with the people is not good, it doesn't matter how hard you work.
Yes.
If your relationship with God is not good, forget. The throne of God is established on righteousness and justice.
Yes.
Right standing with God
And doing
right
the right
standing
things
with the
people.
man. So if you can't do that,
Yes.
even if you work, okay, we shall bury you under, and the works of your hands will be vanity. So may you relate together with your family, very well with the people, and relate with God.
My last question. Already time is gone. My last question for you. Which message do you have for the wives of hardworking men?
Two things. Number one, support. You know, Genesis chapter 2 verse 18. I will make a suitable what?
Helper.
It is complementary. Support the working hard without supporting stealing. I know I have counseled many men who say my wife is putting me on pressure
Yes.
to purchase this. Secondly, also work.
Okay.
And you know, the Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 9 says two are better than one.
Yes.
When they work together, they have better returns.
results.
Work and then ensure that your basket is one.
Okay.
Because I know there are chikazi money and then it's change the money. No, put in that one basket, have one account if it is possible, purchase property in your two names. Because again, and I want to finish with this. If you read Matthew 18:21, that if two agree on anything, the biggest disaster of family today is that we don't agree. There are so many women opposing their husbands, there are so many husbands opposing their wives, and therefore their families are horror. It is vanity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I want to thank you, my brother JT, for sharing out of the wealth of your wisdom.
Amen.
This has been phenomenal. And one thing I know is that you not only talk about this virtue and value of hard work, but you have exemplified it for many years.
Yes.
As a family man, as a husband, as a father, as an executive director of a number of entities, as a church relations manager of the top Christian university in Uganda, now as a general CEO of the investment arm of Church of Uganda. You have exemplified hard work. This afternoon I put out a poster saying we are going to be having a program, and the topic is Real Men Work Hard. And somebody came to my inbox and talked about something concerning you that I want to end with here. And this was your own brother, your young brother, who happens to have gone through some of our trainings at Inspired Leaders International. Grant Mpirirwe, Mr. Grant Mpirirwe. He came to my inbox and this is what he said. Let me read it exactly as he said it. Jasper is my big brother. Same dad, same mom. He is the one who even paid fees for all of us. Without him, the whole family would be nothing. Thank you for exemplifying the value of hard work. That you worked so hard to even pay school fees for your siblings.
Yes.
You worked hard to ensure that you become a significant part of your family. That today they can look back and say, without Jasper, our family would be nothing. Let me tell you, gentlemen who are watching, family leadership is hard work. Do your best. Family leadership is hard work. So do your best. Real men work hard. Until next time, Samuel Ebakutano, your host. This has been the Inspired Family Leader Program. God bless you all. Live love and lead.